Good morning, everybody. It's Yankee Wally here. Yes, it's 3:13 in the morning of Sunday, the 14th of July. Now, I just wanted to go back to the petition. I tried hard, I pushed hard. A lot of people pushed hard. And I think, well, I thank you. I just thank everybody. 77,354 people signed. And these ladies here who had the courage and guts to put their faces there and to say exactly what they thought. I'm so proud of these women. They're all American. Fantastic. The things that they said. They only had 30 seconds to say it, but they did. And I just say thank you to everybody that signed. This is no failure. This is not a failure because it was all over the news. Every time they talked about the Pat Tillman Award, somebody would bring up the petition, and they were some people got it out of date. They said, oh, there was 66,000. I thought, no, mate, there was 77,000. They should have got the figures right. They should have checked it before they went on air, because that isn't fair. 77,000. Now, let's talk about that, right? Just say, for instance, you were famous, and well, even if you weren't famous, let's say, for instance, you were in the Girl Guides or the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts, because I was in the Brownies and the Guides. And you could earn your badges. Do you remember? The badges that you had to sew on the arms of your guide uniform? A sewing badge, a shopping badge, a gardening badge, all sorts of badges for things you had to do. Now, what if you went to earn your badge and go make tea for somebody, and you didn't do it? The person was out, and they said, oh, look, I've got to go out, but I'll sign your book and say you've done it. Would you still collect the award, or would you say to your scout leader, he wasn't in, and so we got to go and do it again? I know what I would have done, even at, well, I was about 10 or 11 then. It wouldn't have felt right to me. I wouldn't have been able to talk to anybody about it, because I would have had to lie. And if you lie, you've got to have a good memory, and I can't do that. I can't remember lies. So no, I wouldn't do it. And I went on a Christian Aid walk once, and again, I was only about 10 or 11, and we had to walk. It was a 10-mile walk for Christian Aid. And we had to walk from a place called Grifters, which was near Pontypool, to Cumbran and back again. And my legs, I was only little then, my legs were maybe, I don't know, I was about 5 foot, I think. But I did it 2 years running. Now, just say, for instance, somebody couldn't make it back. So they hopped onto the medical wagon, there was a car, always a car following, and said, I can't do it, I've got to go back. Would they still tell everybody that they'd walked it? They could say they competed in it. And if they sprained their ankle, that would be another thing altogether. But to get lazy and to say you still did it is wrong, isn't it? It's wrong. And Harry, he does. Look, if 77,000 people, and the people that didn't sign, and the 950 attendees that didn't attend when they knew he was getting the award, 950 people, the writing is on the wall. Now, if you were Harry and you're supposed to be a royal family member, what would be your best way of dealing with it? Because I've been thinking about this all day, and I thought, I know what I would do. The one voice that mattered to me more than anything was the voice of Pat Tillman's mother. His mother, and Harry should know that. He wouldn't want to displease his mother, would he? So what Harry should have done, and I know he didn't, because if he had, he would have made a big brouhaha about it. He should have rung her up. He should have rung her up a week before this was all going to happen and say, Mrs. Tillman, as soon as he heard that she thought he was divisive and she didn't think he should get the award, he should spend at least, give an hour of his time to listen to her and to ask her, why do you feel the way you do? Do you think I should accept the award? And do you think there's any way I could accept it on behalf of Invictus? Whatever he wanted to say. But he's got to learn to listen and not just talk about him. He's got to listen to her point of view. Because Pat Tillman's wife, I can't think of her name, she's remarried. She's moved on. She was at the awards. She didn't look too happy, but she was there. Now, Pat Tillman Foundation, 75% of their income is gone on wages, expenses. Only 25% of the money that they get coming in actually goes to the cause that people donate for. And that's come out since all of this. And Harry and Meghan did donate $250,000, 250,000, which is actually, in terms of the donations, I've noticed there's such big donations being made. $250,000 is, to be honest, a piss in the ocean, isn't it? Because they pick up $3 million checks, $6 million checks from Fidelity Foundation and from Bob Iger. But they scrimp it out a bit. They put a new roof on a homeless women's shelter in Texas. A new roof. Sounds good. They needed it. Great. But it's not exactly going to break the bank for them, is it? If they get in 3 million, they'll give out 3,000. That's what I'm trying to say. So 250,000 is the smallest amount you can give and still have it mean something. In the big foundation world, I'm not talking about you or me and our housekeeping money, but to give 50,000 sounds a bit paltry, doesn't it? 100,000 is, well, it's your first step on the 6-figure ladder. 250, $250,000 is the first amount that is, I suppose, significant, and that's what they gave. So, Pat Tillman's widow, she was all for it because there was 250 going in the coffers, of which, let's just work it out, 180 is theirs. And 60 would be for the people that it was meant to be for. So Harry didn't ring Pat Tillman's mother. If he had rung her and she had said, Harry, listen, there's lots of people that have done far, far more than you, sacrificed their lives or lost limbs, and they never get a mention. You're already famous. There's people that I would like to see mentioned, and I don't think it should be you. If he had honoured that and said, I've spoken to Mrs. Tillman, and she has made her point to me, and I do understand I won't be accepting this award, he would have really done himself a lot of good. Why do they moan about their unpopularity? What is it that they don't understand? They don't have any manners. That's the trouble. If he wanted the award, regardless of what Mrs. Mary Tillman said, then he wouldn't ring her, would he? Because he didn't care what she said. And that's what happened. So he goes up on the stage. He's a lovely looking boy. And he did the right thing for America, with all these people that are around us these days, all shirking off work and getting into drugs and God knows what. And there's still some really decent people around. They are still there. And he was one of them. And the more I learn about him, the sadder it makes me, because he didn't do anything wrong at all. Now, let's be honest, who's the closest person to him living on this earth? It's not his ex-wife. She's moved on. He didn't have any children. She's moved on. She's got a family. And of course, she uses his name, Mary Tillman, or whatever her first name is, not Mary, something else. She double barrels it up so that she still carries that Tillman name. I don't think it's because of love. I think it's more of the monetary aspect of it, and because she's sitting on the board of directors and she gets first dibs at the 75% of the money that they're allowed to keep. It makes me sick. It makes me bloody sick. Pat Tillman is up there in heaven. His mother valiantly fought his side. She knew what he would want. She knew, because she's his mother. You know when your children feel pain. You can read their faces like a book. I can with my daughter, and I don't see her that often, but I can tell when she's lying to me, and she does lie to me. And I don't even have the heart to tell her that I know it's a lie, because I think, well, I didn't teach her to lie, because I don't lie, but she must have felt, I don't know, a lesser person. I sent her to a school that was a bit too posh for our class of life. I suppose that's what I could say. So I think she just lied. That's why I just forget it. But all mothers know their kids. If they brought them up like all the time, she had that boy all his life. She knew him all his life. And she spoke from her heart. I think Pat Tillman would have said exactly the same. We don't want anybody famous having the award. We don't want anybody that left their family behind, that rubbished his own family, that called his own family racist and then said, no, I didn't say that, it was the media. Who's married to a woman who won't speak to her own father, whose 2 children are of dubious parentage, who lies, 19 lies in one interview with Oprah. Those are not the sort of stand-up people that should be standing on the stage for these Pat Tillman Awards. It's not fair. It's not right. And he's not even American. So anyway, what did he do? I've got to get off this page now. I just wanted to say a big thank you. That's an enormous... They're still leaving it open for you to sign, but of course the damage is done now. He's walked home with that. But I'll tell you what, he really showed his true colours on that stage. And it was the way that he said it. He still got that arrogant, bossy, obey me voice to those 3 veterans that were all disabled in different ways. The lady in the lovely white handkerchief hem gown, I didn't notice till she was walking off stage that she's got one of those Oscar Pistorius limbs, you know. And I think the lady in red has got a disability too. And the other man, I think his name was Isaiah, he's had a lot of damage to his face, but they were holding hands together. They were the ones. He wanted them behind him so that nobody would dare boo with them on the stage. I couldn't. I wouldn't, and neither would you. Nobody would, because of the respect that we hold for the people that got severely injured in battle, and Harry would never have got injured in battle. He had Gurkhas running around after him. In fact, I'll go as far as to say he was a liability to his section, whatever they call it. Hold on a minute, I just want to give my nose a little blow. I've got some exciting news about my nose. I'm actually really quite excited, but I'm going to save it till the end because it's that good. So, let me see now. What did we get? Do you know, remember how much he went on and on and on about Prince William and how he's balding? Good God alive, look at that. The Monk of Montecito. And nobody's... Miss and Harry, man, didn't manage to get his sticky little paws on that, did he? There's the other picture where they've photoshopped it. There we are, look. I don't like his face. I don't like his voice. I don't like his bones. I don't like anything about him at all. And gingers smell funny. Not every ginger, just him. But I don't like him. I don't like him at all now. He's become... And I just looked at that now because some people don't bother putting tweets out. They just put hashtags. Because, like I said to you, I've shown you before. Let's just say, if you want to find anybody else that said the same thing. Harry is no hero. Let's click on that. Oh, I can't. I'm not on Twitter. But if you just click on it, it'll take you to everybody else who's ever said that in a tweet. So it's quite a nice way of finding a good hashtag to use because it sort of groups you all together. Anyway, there he is there. I don't like to make fun of anybody. In fact, in my family, my grandfather was totally bald. His brother was Uncle Cliff was totally bald. And my grandfather used to say, "Oh, I don't worry," he said, "hair only grows on monkeys and coconuts." I don't know why he said that. I just remember him saying it. He was bald all his life. I never knew my grandfather with any hair. He was lovely. I loved him so much. Where are we now? Now, these are the people that are actually actors, real actors, that could actually they have served in the army, and they could have been eligible for the SB. Robert Duvall, James Garner, Moses Gunn. Oh, I got too many of those. There we go. Mel Brooks, Clint Eastwood, Bill Cosby. Well, I don't think he'd get one, but Clint Eastwood was only in the army for 1 year. William Sanderson, Jamie Farr, Dennis France. I don't know any of these. Chuck Norris, James Earl Jones, Charles Durnin, and that's it. All those people have served in the army, and mind, they're actors, so I doubt if they would have accepted it. They would have probably said, give it to somebody less well known and more deserving. I know I couldn't have accepted it. If I had started Invictus or not. He didn't start Invictus. He came home from America with an idea that America gave him, the Walking Wounded Warrior Games. He came home from America with an idea. William and Catherine, the three of them, were the directors of the Royal Foundation, and they decided to back it because Harry was like a spare wheel, wasn't he? He wasn't needed. He didn't have a job. Nothing would satisfy Harry. I think it's something to do with his mentality, his brain. But he just couldn't find anything that only drugs and drinking and making a fool of himself and going out and having parties and pinching people's nipples, the disgusting little pervert, and wearing Hitler costumes, the sicko. But, Invictus Games would have been something to keep him out of trouble. And it did. And he also was put in charge of African parks. And again, there's something more to tell you about that. Anyway, recollections may vary. I'm not going to read this to you because it's way too long. But she's done a remarkable write-up. When Boozy did that huge hit piece on Murky Meg, according to Taz and myself. Well, she's taken that and decimated it, and she's gone through it all. Introduction, fallacies, bot sentinel, examples of YouTube, bias, misinformation, shadow banning, conclusion, and the appendix. And she's done it all, and it must have taken her ages. So I said to her, there it is, there it is, all the pages are there. I said to her, what are you going to do with this now? It's such a shame to go to all this work and to put it all together so succinctly and to just, I said, I think it should maybe go to the legal department at YouTube. I think that maybe it might be a good idea because it's such a good argument, a good case, But Sentinel should never have been allowed to write what they wrote about me. It was an absolute public doxing, a public lynching, let's put it that way. Somebody sent me this today. It didn't send me the food. They sent me this picture. I'm trying to look. I don't know what that dressing is. It looks to me like watered down cottage cheese. Might be cottage cheese actually, or something like that. I hope it's not something that's curdled. She had it in a bowl. Ham. I can see peppers, lettuce, tomatoes. There we are. Oh, nice. I would eat that. Easy. Not a problem at all. People always send me pictures of their food. I don't know why. I think it's because they try and tease me all the time. I don't eat much these days. I'm not eating much at all. In fact, I got to be very, very careful. I've had a funny couple of days, to be honest. I've done nothing but sleep. It was a tough week last week, coping with everything like breathing and going out to make a cup of coffee and just everything was just such a struggle. And I kept falling asleep, just kept falling asleep. I'm thinking, I'm not getting enough air. That's what it is. I'm not getting enough oxygen. I live in a heavily congested area. Where I live in Cardiff, it's not those rolling Welsh valleys that I've been brought up on. This is smog city, to be honest. And I'm right outside the busiest road, not 50 yards away from it. And dust comes in here regularly. There's no point dusting, it'll come back again, and after about 3 years, it just knocks itself off. It's just, I just don't care. I don't like it. And I don't like my neighbours. I hate everything here at the moment, and I just don't. And my curtains have ripped the lining. Trippy took it upon himself to have a bit of fun with the curtain lining, and he's ripped it with his paws, and it does. It looks really bad from outside. Because one of my curtains is the lining's in place and the other one is in tatters. And I know the neighbours are talking about me. So I've got another pair of curtains, and they're even better than the ones that are up. I got them from Asda delivered, 90 inches long, and I got 90 inches across, whereas these are 66, so they'll be nice and full. So I even ordered a stepladder from eBay. Stepladder arrived. Of course, do you remember that story I told you? When I came off that 7-step ladder and caught my face, the side of my face on a door handle, fractured my skull and bashed my carotid artery, and I was out for the count. God knows how the hell I lived through that. I just do not know. I didn't even know I dialed 999 because I passed out, and apparently one of the staff had to leave because of the sight of all the blood. They found me in a puddle of blood coming out of my nose and my ear. I was really rough. But I forgot why I was saying that then. But yeah, what was I saying that for? I forgot. I love it when I forget stuff. Oh, I don't know what I was saying. I was moaning about something, wasn't I? Moaning. No matter how much I moan, it doesn't matter. I still wake up every day and I always think something good will happen today. I never think, well, I do. If I do, I'll go away and sort it out myself. I prefer to be on my own than be maudling to other people. If I feel a bit down and I feel a bit negative, then you won't hear from me, and I'm working on myself. That's the only way I can put it. I'm trying to cut down on my antidepressants. I'm going from 3 a day down to 2 a day. So I'm taking one at 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning and 6 in the evening. That's it. I'm doing that instead of every 8 hours. So let's see how it goes. I feel a bit better. I was on a very heavy dose when I was in prison, and I remember my cellmate saying to me, "What have the doctors done to you?" I think they thought I looked like something out of One Flew Over a Cuckoo's Nest, because I was just, and they had put me on the same dose that I'm on now. So I'm thinking, should I come back to life now? Should I try very slowly to come back to the old me? Or will it be more than I can bear? Well, I can always start taking them again, can't I? Anyway, I'll tell you what I found tonight, and I gotta tell you about it. It's an app. Only for British people, unfortunately. I don't believe they've got it in America. And it's called Nextdoor. And it's an app where you let it find where you are, and you join your local neighbourhood group, anybody. Like I'm classed as Tredegarville, I think, or Adamsdown. But anyway, all the people around giving away vacuum cleaners, asking for things, babysitting, wanting builders. I'm having a little look, and I might ask for a house cleaner, but it can't be a faint-hearted little feather duster waggler, because we're talking serious shit here. So anyway, I'm reading it, right? So somebody got in the wrong area, a Bournemouth fella, and his name was Nigel Osatch. I don't mind giving you his name because I don't think he minds you having his name, because when you see his ads, I think you'll realise that he doesn't really care, as long as you're female. Lovely house, room to rent. The last tenant I had became violent and disruptive, so I called the police, who arrested the person for assault and evicted the lodger. So all other landlords and lodgers beware. Seemingly pleasant lodgers, and always ask for a photo ID and a work reference. Regards, Nigel. Okay, Nigel, thank you for that. Looking for a lovely, smart, easy-going, affectionate, bubbly person. Well, hang on. Hang on now. Is this a dating site or are you renting a room? Anyway, there's the house. And then he says, it could be a good way to see if we are compatible. I think the house is the big white one down there. That's the bedroom, which looks to me very depressing. Kitchen's okay. Oh, I can imagine going in that kitchen and putting the kettle on and him saying, no, by here. Put it by here. No, you put the cup in the... Oh, gosh. I can imagine it. I can imagine living with somebody like that. Oh, God. I'm looking for a lodger who will be sociable. Somewhere for us to live in peace and comfort, to help us get along. All my love, Nigel. Oh, this is serious now. Nobody's answering him. He's just saying these things. Somewhere for us to live in peace and comfort, to help us get along. All my love, Nigel. There's the lounge. I like the floor. I think that's a wood-burning stove too. Oh, I can see Nigel has got those bottles just how he wants them. And those 4 little things on top of that fire. You do not move those 1 inch. And I bet you he's got his favourite seat. And if the telly's on the left, he's got the black sofa and you've got the brown one, and you'll be staring at the stairs. Oh, no. Kitchen. Very nice for one. And that's the house. He called it a coach house. That is not a coach house. I know what a coach house is. I owned a coach house. It's not as big as that. Oh my God, I feel depressed already. Is that a single bed? It looks single to me. Can you imagine somebody like Nigel? Just say, for instance, you did rent a room off a man called Nigel, him, and you brought a boyfriend home. Can you imagine? Oh, I expect that's what happened with the last one. I don't know if he prefers men or women. I've no idea. But he's obviously given you a single bed, so that's your clue. Oh, gosh, no. Old-fashioned lampshade, old-fashioned shelving, old pine. Oh, God. Crystals are beautiful, and I find addictive. They may help you find who you are looking for. I hope so. I also have a lovely small double bedroom, fully furnished, all for 4,400, all included, except 25% council tax bill. Well, I couldn't believe that price. I thought, is that a year? That must be for a whole year. That's about £80 a week, isn't it? And then I looked, and he meant 400. It's 400. And there's his jewellery that he makes. So there's loads of benefits of living with Nigel. You've got, for £100 a week, you've got Nigel's company. You've got that bedroom. You've got the view. You've got that beautiful lampshade. And jewellery that he'll probably sell you at a very good price. Anyway, what goes next? Lovely small double room in a lovely house. Message for more details. Looking for a lovely, smart, easy-going, affectionate, bubbly person. I get the feeling that Nigel is a bit of a misery guts myself, and he wants somebody just to buck him up a little bit. So he needs you more than you need him. So if you're a crafty negotiator, I'd end up charging him £400 a month for me to live in there and drag him down the pub once a week. No, I wouldn't charge him 400. I'd say, well, I'll live here for nothing. I want a lock on the inside of my bedroom door, and you will do exactly what I tell you to do, okay? And then I'll take you to the pub once a week. Now, that could work. But He puts the same ad in almost every single day, apparently. We just move on. Oh, God. Are you looking for a lovely small double room in Alamcheen? Go to my page for pics and details. Regards, Nigel. Single groups in Bournemouth? There's his... Sorry, I'm sorry. Nigel, were you really a PE teacher? Now, you won't catch me telling porkies like that, because one look at me and they'd know, PE teacher. Well, anyway, we won't judge you on that. You remind me of somebody who's got a YouTube channel. Yeah, you do. He looks awfully smug, doesn't he? Oh, like Steptoe's father. I hope he's got teeth. I'm a retired PT teacher, 62. And he's telling everything. Here come the replies. Denise. Yeah, I bet you are. Creepy advert. Go on a dating site. There have been a few of these by the op. I find it creepy and weird, to be honest. Who seriously thinks this is okay? Sounds like someone is desperate for female company. Red flag, I'm afraid. Run, don't walk, girls. Barbara says, preferably in the opposite direction, with some pepper spray. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks this is creepy. Girls, be careful. This guy is advertising every day. Agreed, I'm worried that some female may be vulnerable and may be desperate for a roof over their head. They probably woke up to you, sniffing their feet. Oh, God. Oh, dear, there's me then. I go straight to the point. You're looking for a wife, Nigel, or a model to wear crystal jewellery? 4,400 a month or a year. But anyway, I was just having the time of my life, just glancing through it, just reading this poor old Nigel. But if anybody is looking for a nice room for 400 a month in Bournemouth, well, it's not in Bournemouth, it's quite a way out of Bournemouth. But there he is. He's on an app called Nextdoor. It's a new app that's out. It's been out a while now, but I've just found it by chance. I don't know how. Right, excited about my nose. Let's go on to that. I found these at the chemist. Well, the online chemist. I haven't tried these before. Fexofenadine hydrochlorine. I've got 10 tablets. I only had the smallest box that they did. And there's a cure for itchy, runny, blocked nose, itchy and watery eyes. 24-hour relief, and it acts within 1 hour. Now, I took one just before I started making this video, and I think I did have to blow my nose, I will confess, yes, but I think it's working. I really do think it's working. There's the ingredients. So, if you have problems, don't take them if you've got problems with your liver or your kidneys or your heart, or I'm elderly, or I'm pregnant or breastfeeding. Oh, no, I've got nothing wrong with me. I'll be fine. And that's it. And there we are. That's the name of that app, Nextdoor. They got Craigslist and Gumtree's good as well. I do like looking at these things. I don't go on Facebook myself, but anyway, Harry, I think that he may go home with that award. I think it was Meghan that pushed him. Oh, and apparently after the award, as he walked off stage, she walked off after him. And do you know what she's got there? I know what she's got. She's got a dowager's hump. I said this a couple of years ago. Look at the curvature of the spine. That's not going to get any better, you know. And she's not very tall. Look at her posture. Oh, my God. No, she really does need a rod up her back. She needs to walk with some books on her head. Well, it's a bit late now, actually. But that posture is shocking. She needs a back brace. And look at her bust. She's got no bra on and is hanging low. That's really gross. And her neckline, it was supposed to be a sort of a cowl neck, I think. You know, like a cowl neck. But it just didn't look right. The one that she wore at her wedding was far nicer. Not that I ever think that she shows off her shoulders too much, and her shoulders are very big. Perhaps she likes them because they are big. But at the same time, look at her posture. Something wrong there. Really, that's a medical deformity. It's called a dowager's hump. It is. Dowager's hump. Yep. Here we are. News Australia said it had more than 76,000 signatures, see? And the Hindustan Times in India, they said 66. But anyway, it was still mentioned. That petition got remembered by a lot of people. And people noticed it. And that was important. I don't think we would ever have succeeded because our Harry is too haughty. He's too arrogant. He's got an ego to preserve, and she wants those awards. She's stuck in the time warp of 1990s Hollywood when she was driving around in her car going for auditions. She really thinks that she's come back to the future, and she's still in 90s Hollywood, and she's still that little girl that was looking to chase the dream. But unfortunately, times have moved on. She's got a lot older, and people are less ostentatious than they used to be. At least that's how it seems to me to be. Like the Kardashians were showing off in COVID about how they went to an island for their holidays, and they got blasted, really, really blasted, as they should. They went to Antigua or something, all the family, you know, and they were showing off about their holiday. And they love to throw the word humble into it somewhere, don't they? It's crap. It's crap. They don't care. They just want to do what they want to do. But people have got to learn to keep a very, very low profile now, and don't throw your money around unless you're doing some good with it. Harry now has just about used up all his forgiveness favours. He's used them all up now. What happened to him on Thursday night is the final nail in the coffin, because he knew. That's why he wouldn't let those people leave the stage. He knew that if they left the stage, he was vulnerable. In other words, he could not stand there on his own. He was afraid. He was a coward. He was Bunker Harry. But this time he was right out in the open, facing the enemy, and he couldn't handle it. So he had to get his back up. And the way he demanded that, come here, stay with me. You must stay with me. Yes. And as if he was doing them a favour. In other words, that he wanted to share the glory with them, but there was nothing about sharing the glory. He was no way ever going to give them that trophy to take home. He wasn't going to give it to somebody from Invictus either, somebody that was doing the day-to-day administration of Invictus. Maybe put it in the Invictus offices? Not a chance. That'll be on his mantelpiece, with Meghan admiring it and having her photo taken in front of it. The sort of thing that Meghan will do. Meghan is out of date. She's out of date with her attitude, her desires, her needs, her wants, her greed, her ego. She's just totally out of date. And so is he. And he still thinks that he can fall back on the royal family. And now he's beginning to realise just how much he needed the royal family and how much they covered up. They'd write his speeches for him. He wouldn't have got that. Royal family don't take awards. They won't accept awards. They do what they do because they're the royal family. It's their job, a life of service. They don't get paid. They don't take awards. They will boost the charities that they think are important. And they are advocates for charitable causes. That's what they do. That's their job. And because they are the royal family, it works. It works beautifully. And they don't need the money because they've got already money. So they don't need it. And the one thing you can do, you can always trust somebody that's got a lot of money. And you can always trust somebody to be a treasurer for a cricket club or whatever. If they are rich in their own right, the less chance of them fiddling the books. But if you've got somebody like Meghan, well, actually, even if Meghan had 10 million in her bank account, she would still grab that fiver that fell out of somebody's pocket. It's in her nature. It's in her nature. She was brought up poor, and you can tell. You can tell. That's how she's like she is. I was brought up poor, but there's a difference. There's some people are brought up to never miss an opportunity to get another fiver or another tenner, just the way they are. Anyway, that's about it for tonight. She did look good. She looks incredibly smug. Harry with his lopsided grin. Oh, yeah, a friend of the family speaking to the Daily Beast labelled Harry's gong show going as pathetic. Apparently, he's got now 7 awards in 2.5 years. I'm trying to find the thing. There we are. The Sussexes now have more prizes to their name than years that they have been in the United States. In the space of 2.5 years, they have taken home a Ripple of Hope Award, the NAACP President's Award, a Miss Award, a Gracie Award for Meghan's Archetype podcast, a Living Legend of Aviation Award, and the Duchess has been named as a Variety Power of Women honoree for only having 2 children, and now they've got so they've had a busy couple of years accepting awards. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th award in 2.5 years, and to me, they mean absolutely nothing. You can't just change your character with a load of medals or, the things. You can't do that. It's what's inside that matters, and we know that, don't we? Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for spending this bit of time with me. Appreciate your company very much. And I'll be back tomorrow with some new news. Okay? Good night, God bless, and cheerio!